Hey, it's Mike here, and today we're going to talk about my advanced aging on a vegan diet, my vegan deterioration, if you will. Yeah, we're actually going there, and there has been a pretty recent video made about me, a second video by the channel Vegan Deterioration, which is essentially a woman who just takes vegans, especially usually vegan women though, zooms in on their faces, talks about how they look old, and blames everything on their diet. So, the video about me, she says I look anemic, washed up, among other things. And of course the comments are worse, saying I have jaundice and hypothyroidism and the skin's about to fall off my face, all that good stuff. Thankfully, if there's one quality that I have that allows me to keep doing YouTube is that I don't really care what people say about me. I have pretty thick skin. But I still want to go here because not only is she being dishonest in many cases in her presentation of people, she's also bullying quite a few vegan people, women in particular, and she also says some kind of ridiculous stuff about vegan science that I just need to refute. And I want to talk about how her comparisons often rely on extreme lighting or camera changes, natural aging over 10 years before and after makeup, or she just straight up conflates anorexia with veganism. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want you to imagine for a second if there was a channel called Meat Eater Deterioration, the level of horrible before and afters you could put on there. You can just use a little bit of imagination. All right, let the deterioration begin. Let's look at her video about me, which compared, one of my first ever videos to a somewhat more recent video, one that was a little overexposed, I have to admit, and the color balance was off. I considered refilming that. I've considered refilming a few videos, but sometimes, I'll load them in. I'll be like, this will take me 2 hours to do, but So it's not worth it, and sadly, when something's overexposed, you can't bring the exposure down, so it is what it is. Okay, so her video starts off with a bit of a response to my comment on her first video about me, which she deleted, she says, because she said Mick instead of Mike, so here she is.
He actually commented on that video and said that no one should be scared that he's turning yellow because it's due to antioxidants, and maybe he consumes a lot of carrots and sweet potatoes, and that's why he's turning yellow.
So firstly, I never admitted to being super yellow in real life. I just merely said that yellowness doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy, and carotenoids are actually protective of your skin. Check out my recent antioxidant video for more on that. But I think we can agree by looking at me that I'm not super yellow. Like, this little robot is yellow. This is my skin tone. Okay, moving on.
Be that as it may, I still feel like this is not a good transformation. It's not like he just went yellow. He looks anemic to me, and I'm not saying that he is anemic because maybe he's not.
What does that even mean? He looks like he's anemic, but I know he's not. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't come into work today. I have imaginary anemia.
His skin just looks cold and clammy. Like I said before, it still looks cold and clammy. Like you would expect if you touch the skin, it would feel like sweaty and cold at the same time.
So you can kind of get an idea of how she just points at people's faces and says sort of ridiculous, subjective things about her opinion. Like, obviously my skin is not cold and clammy. In fact, recently, weird thing that's happened a couple times recently, people have been near me and held out their hands and be like, I can feel the heat coming off of you. Not that that means anything, it's probably just exothermic heat from slightly over-consuming carbohydrates, which I might do sometimes.
Why is he looking extremely tired and washed up?
So, like, if any vegan appears to be tired at any moment, it's the diet. People don't actually get tired if they eat meat. And I was, like, washed up? Like, what am I, in, like, an alleyway? Anyway, so you get the idea. She basically just criticizes people, and it probably feels good for her, probably makes her feel really good about her diet. It's probably cathartic for her to do. But let's actually look at these videos and talk about the difference. So the first one was filmed on an older iPhone at 720p, which is basically like a blur filter. The second one was 1080p, which is a lot higher resolution. The first one also has natural lighting, like I'm in right now, and the second one had artificial lighting, and also had a bit of a longer beard, sort of like I do now, which is fuzzier, makes people look older. And in the newer one, again, a lot of people think I have a yellowy jaundice look. A lot of people just outright saying that I have jaundice, which is liver disease, makes your skin and your eyes turn yellow. My eyes are definitely not yellow, and they definitely weren't in that video. But yeah, clearly the white balance was off. The artificial lighting and the overexposure maybe made it a little more yellow, and I am colorblind genetically. That's not from the diet. Don't make a video about how a vegan diet made me colorblind. So skin tones are not super obvious, and the amount of time it would take in post to fix all that, it's just not worth it for me. And here's a picture taken at pretty much the exact same time that I filmed that video, and clearly I don't have yellow jaundicey skin. And funny enough, the notorious vegetable police, who's not vegan, he's eating like a more plant-based diet again, but he's not vegan, actually did a response video to this woman's channel because he's been doing a lot of photography work.
This one was funny. Mike the vegan, he looks healthier in the second picture, other than his camera's white balance is clearly shifting to yellow. He looks like a little jaundice, but I doubt that has anything more to do than just his camera. That's all it is. But it looks like his skin is clearer, his eyes are brighter, he's just more confident. It's like, yeah, looking good, Mike, way to go. Well, you can tell the first picture is him in natural light from the window, whereas the second one's in front of a green screen with artificial light, and his camera's not handling it well, and yeah, he looks a little worse, honestly, but like, if you look past that, which I'm trying to teach you right now, he looks fine. He doesn't look like he's even aged at all. It's like, go follow what he does if you want to not age ever. Thank you for promoting him.
Anyway, I just thought it'd be nice to include somebody who's not like biased pro-vegan that came to the same conclusions that I did. All right, now I want to talk about some of the comments, which is, I know it's probably not worth going there, but it's kind of funny. And she definitely did lead her viewers into this direction by talking about how I looked like the life was sucked out of me. But let's maybe read one, for example. Wow, that is shocking. He was and could be such a handsome man, but he looks sucked, dry, and lifeless. His beautiful skin and rosy glow gone, as is his sweet smirk. Yeah, my soul's totally gone. Don't know where it went. In fact, I think it's that you actually have to eat the animal flesh to get the animal souls. That's what keeps you going. Otherwise, you know, your soul's just gonna drift away. And I noticed a lot of comments about my rosy cheeks, which I thought was funny because it's actually me battling rosacea / acne. Rosacea, your face gets red. My face actually was, you know, periodically sort of on fire. It hurt. That is gone now. My face no longer hurts, and I'm super grateful. Literally, disease gone, which is great because in later age, it can kind of lead to like nose deformities and stuff. Here's another one. It's crazy how it looks like the life is sucked out of his eyes, even being bright blue like they are. Simultaneously bright and lifeless eyes. That's why I think I got the White Walker comment, that I look like a White Walker. Yeah. And then there's another one about how I was a good-looking dude, but now I'm missing a soul. You know, just a little bit of a trend here. So it's funny that I was a hunk and all of a sudden I'm like a White Walker. And I do feel like I get a little bit more positive comments about my looks now, even outside people that know about my YouTube. Maybe it's because I have less acne. Maybe it's because I've put on like 15 pounds and got stronger, which is funny because here's a comment saying, from normal looking to frail and bony. Yeah, you see what you see. Somebody who literally gained 15 pounds you think looks bonier and skinnier. And there's another thing I want to clear up about the timeline, which sort of goes into a mini version of my vegan story. So I went vegan 8 years ago. The first video I ever did on YouTube was almost 4 years ago exactly, yet a lot of people in the comments, and because of the way it's presented, think that was like a right when I went vegan or before I went vegan in my first video. So one woman actually said I was a hunk before going vegan, referring to when I was actually already vegan for 4 years. So she's actually complimenting a vegan. So it seems that people also think it was only a couple years between that first and second video. Again, it's 4 years, which, you know, that's natural, 4 years of aging. And I will say it's me struggling with acne versus almost not. I mean, I'll still get like irritations here occasionally, working on the tiny house, especially with like a mask. But now it's more like external things have to like irritate my skin to give me acne usually. But let's take a look at another picture of me and demonstrate my severe soullessness. These are my dead soulless eyes. He clearly has lost his will to live. Thinning eyebrows is one I saw in the comments. As you can see, his eyebrows are thinning. His skin is pallid and pale. Actually, that picture was taken right when I started my channel. It's in the same place, same background, and we didn't live there for very long, so it's the same me, but you can see the expression on my face looks a little bit less like, yee. And here's another one from around that same time. Look at those deep creases, those wrinkles around my eyes. Advanced aging. 4 years ago. I want to mention, I think she deliberately picked out this slightly overexposed video. You can see at the end, she puts a few of my videos together to talk about the science I talk about, and you can see that I have like more eyebrows in all of the other pictures than that one. I look less overexposed, and I think some of those are before and some of those are after that one. And I will say I have always had really thin eyebrows. I don't really think they've changed. And it's sort of a, I don't know, a genetic thing I have, and they get bleached by the sun. Like right now, they are a little bit bleached more than normal. But it's not like I actually have less hair, and Lindy actually wants me to darken my eyebrows just to demonstrate this fact, because she can see off camera how much hair there is. This woman also made a video about Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, also criticizing his eyebrows, and here's what she has to say.
Why do his eyebrows look like this? Why is his eyebrows so sparse and balding?
I don't think it's healthy to just like judge people like this, but I will say Ryan did make a response video.
Eyebrows have fallen out.
Sorry to burst your bubble there, Miss Anti-Vegan, but going vegan did not cause my eyebrows to fall out. They look pretty much the same now as they did in the early 1990s. Furthermore, if you did a little research as to what Asian men's eyebrows look like, yes, I'm 3/4 Chinese, I have what's known as broom-shaped eyebrows, and this is a quite common eyebrow shape that you see amongst Asian males.
To show how nitpicky this lady is, she even finds a way to get angry about Ryan's long, healthy hair.
I'm not going to listen to this person about hair. His hair disturbs me. Like, every time I see him, I just want to trim it because one side is always way longer than the other, way thicker than the other, and one side is all thin and see-through. You need to cut this hair and do something with it because it does not look right.
Warning, eating meat will make you a judgmental, negative person. And he is way older than people think he is. Like, he is doing amazing for his age. Go home, lady. Go home! Last point on eyebrows, we're also sort of living in a world right now where everybody is darkening their eyebrows. Makeup is about darkening your eyebrows. People microblade their eyebrows, which is tattooing under your eyebrows. Just worth mentioning. It's the fashion. All right, now I have another picture of me that I think you should probably see. Look, all of my facial hair has fallen out because I went vegan, so pale, so thin. Oh wait, I wasn't vegan. That's a picture of me in high school, I think about 11, maybe 12 years ago. Yeah, that's actually when I was a senior, which yes, I was a late bloomer, but I will say, I'm showing this to demonstrate that you can look good and bad at any time. Like here's another picture from around that same time. I would say I look pretty normal, although, you know, it's blurry so you can't see any acne or anything. And I have another fun one that I'll show in a second. It's a similar time period. I went to China, and my brother had just gone to China, and he had just started eating red meat, and we grew up not eating red meat. We ate chicken, fish, dairy, and eggs, but never red meat. And so I was like, oh, I'll give this red meat eating thing a try. Here's my face. So yeah, I am glad that I did not continue eating red meat and that I went in the opposite direction. So I think that was probably the worst my face ever was. Anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about lighting here because this is one of the key things, the key tools that she uses on her channel to mislead people. Maybe she just doesn't know that much about lighting, but lighting can make the same person at the same exact time look healthy or unhealthy. You know, if you have harsh lighting from the top, it can make you look older. If you have lighting coming straight on you, it can make you look more normal. You know, many of her before and after videos are just a difference in lighting, and also natural lighting versus artificial lighting. That's what she did in my case. Natural lighting is almost always more flattering. It's softer, for example. There's one topic she covered at the end of her video, which I find really frustrating, and she covered it in another video as well, and that is science.
But I know that he has all the science, and the thing about that science that we ex-vegans have learned, you can read all the science, learn about how the vegan diet reverses the heart disease and the plaque in the arteries and stuff like that, and how great it is for your health to be a vegan. But sometimes, like your eyes and your brain reading those studies, the cells and the organs in your body, they don't get the memo that they're supposed to pick up on all these plants and do amazing things with them.
Yeah, he has all the science, but you should just ignore it. In fact, she has a whole video talking about why you should just ignore the peer-reviewed literature and focus on, you know, the anecdotes that she feeds you instead.
But just know that science bears no weight for me anymore as far as veganism is concerned. I'm never gonna go back to vegan. Even if there's a test group in Loma Linda that they all live to be 137 with no heart disease and all that, I still wouldn't care.
Yeah, she actually said science bears no weight for anymore. Instead, she'd rather just focus on, you know, the worst possible images she can get from group. Like, if you could just take, like, centenarians, find the worst looking centenarians and be like, you should never be a centenarian. That's the least healthy thing you can do. It's ridiculous.
And so, yes, I'm sure that they've done studies on people and reversing their heart disease with a vegan diet. The vegan diet is actually not even the only way that heart disease has been reversed.
This is just patently false. This has not been demonstrated by any peer-reviewed literature. We have peer-reviewed literature showing a whole food vegan diet doing this. We don't have any others, so this is absolutely just her opinion. Now, my final point here is that she's sort of pushing it on the bullying aspect. I think she's legitimately bullying, but in terms of the community guidelines, she could be sort of right up on the edge there. I mean, here's her just picking apart Fully Raw Christina's face, saying that she looks old.
The first thing that I noticed about this image is she's not exactly looking super young for being in her 30s. I'm looking at this vein in her forehead. The collagen in your face when you're that age, it should be able to cover up the veins.
And here's another one that I think exposes her bullying spirit. It's a little bit more subtle though. She makes a video about Ellen Fisher criticizing her appearance. Of course, a lot of it's like before and after makeup. But here's the comment that she pinned. Her eyes now look like my dog's eyes right before he died when he went blind. That's the comment that this woman pinned on her video, not in good faith. She also made like a 12-minute video of solid criticism of Lily Coy's eyelids. I think she had a good response. Here's part of it. I get that you're trying to prove a point, and surely people who want to spin a particular narrative will believe whatever they please, but your quality of evidence is laughable. And that's really the tip of the iceberg on women that she's bullied, and I do not think this is a healthy thing to do. She does it under the guise of, oh, it's it's just exposing the, lack of health among the vegan community and the vegan diet. But the reality is she's just, taking people, again, with bad lighting, before and afters of makeup, people who are just naturally aging, and so forth.
Why do you keep showing women with makeup on, and then look at them now as a vegan with no makeup? What the hell?
And I don't think it's even beneficial to talk about how she looks, but I do want to mention from a psychological perspective, I think it probably just makes her feel good to do this. She can justify, killing animals and eating this diet again if she just says, all these vegans are dying, and it probably just feels good to be like zooming in on their eye, this is the wrinkle and this is their flaw. Like, I guess I get it. But you can't really hold veganism to an impossible invincibility standard. Even if people are way healthier, there will be people who are unhealthy. And just think about how many people on a standard American diet end up having advanced aging, or they burn out generally kind of in their 20s. They start losing that youthful look. If they were ever even able to get to a point where they did look healthy in the first place, between things like child obesity and diseases that, parents basically give their children. So I think it'd be useful to ask the woman behind this channel, if she is watching, think hard about this. Would it be possible for you to make this same exact channel out of people who aren't vegan? The answer is obviously you could. And I just want to mention also, I'm only going to get older. I'm only going to age and look worse. And of course, people like this woman will blame it on veganism, even though it's a natural part of being human. I will say though, I have a little bit of deterioration on my finger. I was wondering maybe you could do a video on this vegan deterioration. This right here. It's right here, deterioration. Can you see it? Oh wait, no, I actually have really nice nails. That's funny. Look at those nails. Holy shit. Anyway, so I don't usually like giving any credence to the haters and talking about them and getting too superficial, but I felt like, why not? Why not touch on this? She's definitely, bullying various women, in my opinion, and just being very misleading. And yeah, I will say you should watch the Vegetable Police's whole video on this, because he goes through many cases of it and the different lighting in a little bit more detail. So, all right, let me know down below what you think about these videos. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.